My name is Albert.
Hi Albert, I'm Dmytro.
Yeah, nice to meet you today. And today
Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, thank you. That is also nice to talk to you about your startup, about your idea, why you decided to make your own startup, and on what level you're right now.
Well, it was kind of long process, but to make that long story short, I will start from 2004. Thing is that quality data is very important for a number of things, including elections. And in 2004, I was running a water education project. It was basically a project behind the Orange Revolution. So we did not campaign for any candidate, but we helped Ukrainian voters make sure that the vote is not falsified. So we had to do two things. First, we had to document falsifications all over the country, and then we had to make sure that the Supreme Court in Ukraine actually listens to the people. And to make that happen, we involved ordinary people, the voters, in the documenting of the frauds, and lawyers into making legal cases out of those documents. And then, of course, because at the initial stage voters were involved in the data gathering, for them it became their stories, personal stories. And so that's how they came out on the streets demanding that the administration, that the Supreme Court would really listen to the demands of the people and would take a legitimate decision. And that was a big success because we stopped the attempt to falsify the vote, and we did that without any violence at all. And that became possible because we had that combination of two things: crowdsourced data gathering and enforcement from the people, and second, high quality content provided by the lawyers. And that model, it proved to be efficient in number of ways. So when I faced the problem of disinformation, I realized that the same model can be used to actually fix this problem too, because I realized that there are a lot of very good fact-checking projects. Like really high quality
what do you mean by fake-checking projects?
Fact-checking.
Yeah.
These are organizations, highly professional organizations, checking facts. They are taking some claims and they are verifying those claims, and they're preparing reviews of those claims, and making conclusion whether that is false or true. And the thing is that I also realized that actually results of the hard work of fact checkers, they remained underused. They're not delivered in many cases. They are kind of staying on the websites of the fact-checking organizations.
But they are not actually doing what they are saying.
No. They are like the fact checkers are really doing their job professionally. The thing is that they're journalists, they're academicians. In most of the cases, they are not in the distribution business. Their business is not delivering that content. But efficiency of their job in the end, it of course depends upon not only production of that quality content, but also upon the efficient and timely delivery of that content to where that content is needed. And it is of course needed where and when fake news is posted. So
you start from the needs. What you actually start from you try to solve the problem. That was a problem for you. It was a challenge for you to find a new.
It's problem both for the fact-checking organizations and for the people online exposed to fake news. So that's why I started building that technology, able to combine high quality content from the fact checkers and outsourced and crowdsourced delivery of that content, and that's how we built the technology that we are now improving and developing.
So you start from the idea that you want to challenge that problem, and then you start with your startup. So you provide information that is fact-checked.
Yeah. That's what kind of an attempt to solve a real pain, and for lots of people, for thousands of fact checkers and for millions of the users online who just most of them don't have time to check data, to Google. But I mean, we are making that thing simple and fast and high quality.
On which stage you are already on the startup?
We tested our technology. It's validated now. We tested several ways to deliver content, and we failed several times.
That's normal. It's the fail.
Yeah, and I'm thankful to all those people who helped me to fail on the previous stages. I keep some of those people as co-owners of the startup.
And what fails? What fails you've been?
Well, I always try to gamify this process because it is a needed thing and very important, but still. The best way to keep people involved, to give them feeling that they are not only doing something good and important, but also to give them a way to do that in a funny way. So we tried several ways to gamify this, and not all of those attempts were successful. So first attempts, they were really shitty. We did it wrong, but now we know what people want. Now we know what people are not afraid of, and what makes them feeling good and motivated. So
from your point of view, that gamification is important, to make a better team, so you can play and so you can satisfy the needs.
It's not necessarily about making teams, but definitely kind of feeling that you're not alone in your fight against bad things. It is important, definitely. But you don't necessarily have to kind of come somewhere and meet someone. You need to know that you are backed by the people who really have time and qualification to really judge whether it is a fake or not. So your role is very important as a user. Role of the users is very important, but not for fact checking, but for the delivery of that content. And this is thing which cannot be done by the fact checkers, even if they are very highly qualified and reputable. The thing is that users online, they trust their friends, because every user can control whose post he or she is reading. So and as a result, we have kind of tricky phenomena. Like we think that social networks, they are basically evil. They're terrible. They are doing terrible things. But we are sure that in our part of these terrible things, we are okay. They're fine. I mean, and the reason for that is that because we can kind of friend and unfriend. We can follow and unfollow.
Yeah.
So we, as users of social platforms, we trust to our friends.
Yeah, exactly.
And basically we trust them for whatever they share, fake or not. So the thing is that we need to kind of let people that easy and trusted way of getting quality content. And then sharing that quality content back to their friends. And when in the end, people who are sharing fakes, they don't care about fact checkers, they don't care about academicians, and they don't care about the centuries of civilizations and development of the knowledge. But they care about their social context. They don't want to be unfriended. So they don't want to risk being unfriended. So the most difficult thing in our startup is to change that behavior and to actually use this inclination of the people to be afraid of losing contacts on the other way around. Like we need to help those people who are not comfortable with their friends sharing fakes. And we need to make it actually a problem for those who are sharing fakes that they are sharing fakes. And it is about this kind of very difficult behavioral change, and so this barrier, I think it can be overcome with gamification.
So you're still struggling with that barrier, or you already?
Of course, I mean, well, it's a very complicated thing to make people change their behavior. I mean, it's this is the most difficult projects and services and businesses. They're about changing users' behavior.
Yeah, it's like.
But once it's done, then it's unicorn.
Yeah, it's like a paradigm shift, something
exactly,
like this. Yeah,
exactly. So, and I mean, I'm still kind of positive about humankind. I think that in general this planet is hopeless, but I think that still some part of the population it is good enough to actually start a movement, and we just need to help them start that movement because. I mean, it's the same reason that enlightenment started. Like the people who were not comfortable with stupidity, they started not only doing research and overcoming myths, but also distributing that knowledge. So basically, it's an educational project. It's about kind of online university without walls and even without websites and even without kind of one organization doing that. It's about delivery of the high quality content from all types of organizations having that content and knowledge, like universities, non-fiction publishers, fact checkers, and other good journalists, because basically fact checkers, they're journalists, they're just very good journalists.
Yeah, that's really amazing. So you can be the loon shooter, they say. There's a nice book about the loon shooting. So you have a new idea, so you want to reach the moon with this step, but and you want to change the idea of the people. So I hope that's a startup. But how many years it's a startup, and what is your next step?
Oh, it's for many years. It's like well, the first idea was in 2004, but there was no infrastructure for this. Like there was no data description standard, able to help fact checkers describe their content. And now there is such a standard, and that's why I started doing this, because I mean, all the needed requirements and needed components, they're already existing. So now it's about just integrating these things. And so this attempt is 4-year-old. Yeah.
So your next step is to get funding and to implement it into the crowd, yes? Or
we have funding needed for this stage. We got a great team of developers. Actually, I hired my mentors in the startup Wise Guys and Girls accelerator, and they're amazing. They are coding fast, and I trust them, and my investors are trusting them. But we will definitely need investments for the next stage, and we need content partners, and the most important, we need ordinary users, because in the end those people who are installing our plugin and using our mobile app, they are the key component here, because again, you can have high quality content, but if it's not delivered, then it makes no sense. We have a pilot Android app. It's not published yet, and we have a plugin. We are now, it's tested already. We got 1,200 installations just in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's very good.
And moreover, we got 2 websites correcting their news. Because of our plugin, because our user started kind of writing to the editor saying, look, I mean, I installed this plugin and it shows that your site had published the fake. And yeah, because that content was from highly reputable fact checkers, those websites corrected the.
So the process started like step by step. It's already.
I mean, I did not expect this to happen so fast. I expected such things like with the journalists and with the news sites happen sooner or later, but I did not expect this to happen so soon. I thought, okay, probably several millions users, and then journalists would start paying attention to us. But no, if it's a good quality news site which happened to share and to publish some fake news, then they correct, because it's about reputation. Sources of propaganda, like Russian propaganda sources, of course they will not correct. I don't expect them to do such things. But it's
what
not
about US propaganda? If they're US propaganda?
Well, there is no US state propaganda. There are like some US officials spreading lots of fakes, of course. But there is no state machine in the United States producing propaganda, contrary to Russia. In Russia, this is kind of state machinery. This is ideology. This is from Soviet times. So they use information as a weapon. That's their strategy, so they are spending huge money on that. Thousands of people are working for that. So yeah, this is different from the United States. In the United States, you have populists here too, and they are authoritarian sometimes, but there is no state machinery for this. So this is different. And in the United States, it's kind of market-driven propaganda. It's not state-driven propaganda. So basically, it's not propaganda. It's just populism. It's very bad, but this is not state-sponsored.
So hopefully, your startup will open the eyes and show the facts and how was it in right.
Well, the people. We are just creating that button and that kind of engine, making those things easier for the people, for the fact checkers and for the users. So it's up to them. I mean, we need fact checkers to work faster because they're great people. I love them, and I'm eager to help them. But they need to start working faster, because usually it takes several days to fact check something and to write a report. In some cases it's okay, but for instance, in the case of elections, it's too slow. So we need to help them
to work faster.
Yeah, and it's up to the people, because if people are not willing to kind of risk and help their friends learn the facts, then it will not work. So we depended upon this to our stakeholders. I mean, investors are important, but in our case, these are the kind of the two entities and types of our stakeholders who are the key: the fact checkers and the ordinary users.
Thank you. That was very interesting to hear about your startup and about how we can know better and new news. So if you like it, you can just always get in contact for the startup.
Check the link, install the app.
Yeah, install the app.
Let's help us eliminate the fakes. Fuck them all.
Yeah, fuck them all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.